Thank you, Anna, for sitting down with me.
Thank you for having me.
Now, we're here at PGDC, and you are just taking over for Sherry Stridehorst as chair of PGDC. It's a 3-year position, I believe. And before we get to that, I was hoping you could fill us in, give us the 411 on your history and in barley science, barley breeding. How did you get involved in this?
So with barley, it's a long life story, I would say, because I always had a soft spot for barley. So when I was asked what crop I would like to work on for my PhD, and barley was one of them, there was not a very difficult decision for me to make because, like I said, I grew up in a family where barley was on our table, so it was easy to make that decision. After that, I switched a little bit towards more Fusarium head blight resistance in barley, and that was the link towards the other cereals. So when I started working after my postdoc, starting working in wheat, a little bit in triticale. But then in 2012, the opportunity arose for me to work in barley again as a barley breeder. So coming back to my first love was very easy, and I'm very grateful for that.
Like I say, you're taking over as chair of PGDC, and what's your vision as chair of PGDC? What are you hoping to get done?
I think, as we know, PGDC basically is a forum for discussion around plant breeding, discussions around cultivars. Is a forum where things could happen. People could have this type of discussions, and also is the umbrella organization for the 4 independent committees. So for us at PGDC, or my vision for PGDC is to continue to the growth of the industry, to continue to the growth of the industry, but mainly by doing our role in ensuring a very positive environment for discussion where people could get first-hand information. So like we hear today, the plenary sessions, so that enable the community to have access firsthand, to hear the message firsthand. I think that is very important, and that is one of our roles. So to continue in that direction.
I was interviewing Sherry Stridehorst yesterday. She's the outgoing chair, and she was talking a little bit about how there's some possible change coming for PGDC in the next few years with regulatory modernization, things like that. And what for you is the biggest challenge PGDC faces right now as an organization?
I would say maybe I will not touch yet on those because I don't have the insights on that as of right now. But what I would say the challenges for us right now are to maintain. As you see, I feel that we are a little bit overstretched. We have lots of meetings happening in only 3 days, very short time. Numerous of our members, which their expertise is required in several committees or teams. So all those overlapping meetings could pose difficulties. So I would say we should look to see how we could ease a little bit that. And another aspect, as you heard, Sherry, was about the being overcapacity. So it's a good problem to have, but yet is a problem from the organizational point of view. So for me, those are few things that are top of my mind, and that we should not alone. Of course, we have executive committee group. So I'm looking forward also to, if we could do better. I know Sherry did an amazing job, so it will be hard to follow, but maybe to strengthen even more the communication and the knowledge transfer among the team members within the executive committee, so we could learn from each other and things that are working and positive to be implemented in different committees. And like I said, to have the discussion to see how we could ease a little bit the burden on our experts with those concurrent meetings happening.
Yeah, when you say overcapacity, you're talking about the numbers this year. It's like a sellout crowd.
Correct.
More people wanted to come to the meeting than could actually come.
I think it's a wave, which is probably the ripple effect from COVID, when people, having all this virtual world and people wanting to be in person. And I strongly believe that for this type of meeting, it's important to have in person. Especially because there are also the long-term members and the new coming members. So that's another challenge that we have a little bit to some people that are new, that could be a little bit intimidating. And we do need all voices to be heard, from the new members to the senior members. So I think those are some of the challenges that I see currently. And also to make the transition for the people that are willing to join, to have a smooth transition. Usually we are doing quite good, because senior members are looking into sort of like sponsoring and helping the newcomers to navigate, but it's not always the case. So I think there is something where we could do a little bit better together with the chairs and the secretary of each of the committees.
Speaking of research, there was a lot going on this week with the Canadian Barley Symposium, a lot of students talking about their work. What for you was the highlight of that?
There are many. I get very excited when it comes to science, but definitely there were works on the. I love both sides, the applicable side of science as well as the upstream. So I enjoyed very much the talk about how barley could be pre-processed to be more palatable for the cows, and how we could be also more sustainable, and we could be more efficient, cost efficient. So I really enjoyed the talk and the passion of the students she had. It was extraordinary. At the other end, I really like the upstream work, so timely on gene editing that was presented. And it was interesting talking to the student after, she was somebody that's starting during COVID. And she said, while I'm closer to graduating, this was my first in-person presentation, and she was quite nervous. It's such a difference. She said, I was so fortunate to deliver so many presentations, but this is my first. But I think she did great. I felt really... when you talked about challenge, for example, I was thinking about also the challenge that we face in agriculture in general, of making agriculture more appealing to our next generation. So I think that is like my fear. Are we going to have the experts that we need in near future? So seeing more students joining, participating, that was for me a highlight. Also seeing 50, I think was even more than 50-50, like the gender segregation, if I could say so. That is also encouraging, because I think that it's a positive sign, and to have people willing to jump into the agriculture sector, either plant or animal science.
Do you have any lines put forward this year?
Not this year, no. But we do have available. While we do not have lines that we are requesting support for registration, we have a line that I'm very excited about that is available for licensing. So we will have for us at Agriculture and Agri-Food Canada, we have a bidding process for licensing, and that will be starting soon once the PGDC ends. That is ready for licensing. We were able to produce the breeder seed for it, so we are ready to move into the hands of the license holder and to get even closer to our farmers. Is a purple-colored barley. So it's a variety that potentially holds lots of health benefits because it's a hulless food barley, so it's intended for food. It's supposed to have antioxidant activity and to help, like we eat our blueberries, so why not eat our purple barley?
Interesting. I've never heard of that before. That's unique. It's something, but that must make this meeting interesting for you. Something different every year.
Yes, I think for me this is something I'm always curious to see what new traits, regardless of the crop. I'm a very curious person, and I'm interested to see what other people are working on, and to see. It's fascinating to see from a thought or an idea jotted on a paper to a trait that is now fully available in a cultivar or cultivar to be. So, and PGDC itself, it's I don't know, the place of birth for so many varieties that will shape our the future of our Canadian agriculture. So it's very exciting, and I'm happy to be part of that.
Yeah, no, I imagine you are. Thanks for sitting down with me, Anna.
Thank you very much, Mark.